Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Purple, which traditionally was a show about hazard pay and grants, but it's changing because there's now free money, stimulus checks, coming from your state out of nowhere. Stimulus checks from your state, stimulus free, rent stimulus, utility stimulus, and other types of free stimulus is coming to state residents across the country. And it's not a few $100s. It's $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. And this is from states that had told you just less than 2-3 days ago they had no money, that they had closed programs like this weeks ago. Guess what? They're announcing massive stimulus across the board. This has become the new hit show of this channel because there is so much stimulus, like a $1,200 stimulus check that could land in your hands. And there's incredible stimulus like $5,000, $10,000 stimulus for rent. Meantime, on another step, where is all those grants, hazard pay, SSI and SSDI, the $2,400? Where will those land in your hands? Will they land in the CR or will they land in a bill thereafter? Meantime, what's going on in these privates? If you've not seen on Purple Power Live last night, private organizations, religious and political, are absolutely doing God's work. They are paying thousands of dollars to rent for viewers of this channel in Mississippi, Montana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Alabama. If you've looked and you have not been able to find this free stimulus, guess what? These organizations are paying it. Everything's changing. I'm going to get you big money. I'm so glad you joined me on the new hit show of this channel, Purple. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Afternoons Lalate, and boy, am I excited for you to join me in a show in which is evolving as the situation for your free stimulus from your state is changing by the minute. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, because this is a show that has really taken a new face as states suddenly announce, guess what? We're sending out some stimulus checks. Guess what? We're extending your UI benefits. And guess what? We're sending out thousands of dollars for free rent stimulus and free utility stimulus. And to make this even more exciting, private organizations are paying residents, viewers of this channel, thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in free rent stimulus as well, in states in which you may not find it from your city or county. It's all really exciting news, and I can basically say it to you this way. In the last few days, we've now seen that it's hard to find a state where you can't find money. It's that exciting. Meantime, I'll go over what's going on with that $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. Is that going to be a grant program in the current bill that they're doing by the December 11th deadline, or will that come in January? How would it work? And what about EIDL? And how about the two EIDL grants? What about the PPP grant? And what about all the other CARES Act 1 money? Meantime, what's happening with that $50,000 grant and the hazard pay grant? I'll go over all those details and more. And now let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as we sit here today is that states are really doing the God's work by really watching your back and saying, you know what, I don't like what's going on with Congress and I don't like the situation. So they're doing upwards of 4 different things. In this recording, I'm going to go over all the 4 things. They're all involving money to you. And I'll go over how you can get them. And then I'll turn to that money that will come from Congress, either in the December 11th bill or shortly thereafter in a January bill. All right, let's first start with the states and this new money in the states. First, some states are issuing $1,200 stimulus checks, like New Mexico, or $375 in Colorado. They're doing actual stimulus checks. When we say the word stimulus checks, it means literally it's a check for whatever you want to use it for. So you need it to pay your electric bill, you can use it to pay your electric bill. If you need it to pay your mortgage, you use it to pay your mortgage. You use it for anything you want. It's a stimulus check. So 2 or 3 states have announced stimulus checks. But, as I'm going to say throughout this recording, please stay with me and subscribe to this channel, and also just stay alert where you are, because states are announcing things that weren't even there by the hour. It's changing very quickly. Why is this changing quickly? for two reasons. One, they don't like what's going on with Congress. And two, they have all that money of the use it, lose it money that I've always talked about on this channel, the CARES Act 1 money. They got to use it, and that's why these deadlines are coming up about December 15th. And when they're talking about this free money, they're talking about it in just the next few days, and then poof, it's gone. All right, now let's turn to the other type of free money that states are passing out. States are now passing out enormous rent stimulus, free rent, and enormous utility stimulus, free utilities. It's important to understand that two things are happening. First, you have situations where places that never had it before are announcing it, like San Diego County, announcing a free rent stimulus. Houston, which had ran out of stimulus before, has now a rent stimulus for its residents who had turned to privates in recent days and got money from privates. Now they can get it back from their county or city. But the other one that's very exciting is that the major states that said they had used all the CARES Act 1 money on rent before in July or August, guess what? They're announcing major programs across their entire state. Andrew Cuomo on Friday announced that the state of New York is going to relaunch another rent stimulus program this coming week. So you need to stay really in tune on getting that rent stimulus. Meantime, in the city of New York, viewers have found a rent stimulus program from NHA One Shot, and it's incredibly important that suddenly things that we thought weren't there are there. Next, utility stimulus is all across the board. Whether it's H-Leaf, if I'm saying it correctly, or other utility organizations, they're paying rent in nearly almost every single city and county and state across the country. Utility companies, through their own doings, are doing incredible utility assistance. Finally, this is the real shocker. There's a reason when you turn into Purple Power Live every night at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on this channel. It's not only for me to give you information, but for you to also give me information. Last night, the following thing happened, and it was shocking. Viewers from Montana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Arizona, and Alabama all came into the live chat and said, I got rent grants. I'm choking up because it was really exciting. I got free rent. And we weren't talking about a few $100s. We're talking about thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. My question was, from who? Where'd you get it? Which city? Which county? What state? Wasn't from the city. Wasn't from the county. Wasn't from the state. It was from this national organization. It was from that national organization. In some cases, the viewer said the same national organization helped that viewer. Then another viewer said in another state that same national organization helped them as well. Suddenly, viewers who had sat back and said, wait a second, I thought there was no rent grants. I thought there was no rent assistance in Kentucky, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Arizona. Yeah, there was, because that was found along with Montana and Michigan. Yes, Michigan. Now, what's important to understand is that's the power of the purple. Viewers and all saw those details and also saw the volunteers. The volunteers saw the details. And now with no less than 9 incredible volunteers who are tracking these major developments on who's giving out stimulus, reach out to a volunteer if you've tried to find this state stimulus and can't find it. The volunteers are in the community page of this channel, youtube.com/LA/community. Finally, what should you expect on Monday and this week? This is what's going to be happening. First, some of the cities and states and counties that did announce that there's some rent stimulus coming will unveil them, like New York. Others are going to expand them, is what I'm predicting. In Georgia, several counties on Friday announced we're going live with new rent assistance programs. Gwinnett, DeKalb, and then cities like Atlanta, rent stimulus programs officially from the government. But what I'm predicting is that you're going to see more of the same counties in the same states doing the same thing, because they generally got the same amount of money if they're the same population nexus as another county that already announced it's going live. Then I fully expect that you're going to see more states do the next thing. which is incredible. It's called extended benefits. States are stepping up and saying, you know what, you're about to run out of unemployment benefits in just a few days. We can't do this. We're going to give you an additional 10 weeks or additional 20 weeks of unemployment benefits or PUA benefits because we don't want you to go off of benefits January 1st. Hawaii has already done this, but I fully believe that you're going to hear a lot of states announce it in the next few days. So while you're sitting back and saying, well, California hasn't done it, just sit back, because I expect a lot of states to say, here are additional weeks of state extended benefits. If you have questions more about unemployment benefits, I will be covering that in the video right after this called Being a Mitch, about 10 minutes after that. That's on my live Q&A about UI, PUA, FPUC, and how to get all this money and escalate benefits. Now, let's turn to all this other money, and where is it, and how do you get it? Okay, so the $2,400 for SSI and SSDI, that's Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, stimulus grant, stimulus check. Where is that, and how do you get it? Do you have to do anything? First, you won't have to do anything. That I can make that very clear. You won't have to apply for it. It'll just land. Where will it land? It will land on top of your existing monthly check. When will it happen? Well, Joe Biden is set to prepare it potentially as a standalone bill in January. It's not going to be in this stimulus package in the next few days. It's not going to be there. So get ready for that. It does not replace or supplement something else. It does not replace something else. It's an addition to any stimulus check you would get for $1,200. How about EIDL? Yeah. So these are the following things that are going to be in the massive January stimulus bill, the third stimulus bill. You're going to see two groups of EIDLs. You're going to see people who never got EIDL but applied timely before, and people who timely applied and got $1,000 but didn't get the remainder of the $10,000. I believe you're going to see that, and you're going to see the opening of EIDL grants for new applicants. Next, hazard pay. You're going to see hazard pay in the January bill. How much of it will survive is hard to say. But if the GOP retains control of the Senate, I don't see it getting $10,000. I see it getting less. But the proposal will be $10,000 based upon $13 an hour, how many hours you work from January of this year to 60 days after the pandemic ends, which is about June of next year, and up to $10,000, or unless you made a lot of money last year, you get $5,000. Essential workers are still a term in flux. Then the CDC grant, which is $50,000. I don't see that happening. It's just too much money. I don't see that happening. But I do see happening the rent grant, which will pay you rent at the end of this pandemic after the eviction moratorium, as the eviction moratorium is about to be lifted. And then food grant. I see that happening as well as the need for food and schooling kicks in the next few days. So meantime, is there any stimulus grants that will slide into the CR in the next few days, separate for the ones we already know of? I believe that the round of PPP stimulus grants will get into it because both sides have asked for it. What's important to understand as you sit here today is that there's a lot of money for you to get from your city and county and state. And ultimately, this is how you do it. You call up your city hall, your county hall, your state housing authority, or you go on their official website, or you do both. Last night on Purple Power Live, someone was asking, is there any rent grants in Miami-Dade, Florida County? Of course there is. When I launched this 12 days ago, I talked about Broward County as one of my first examples. They had it right on their website. Here we are, Broward County official website, and they also had it on Miami-Dade's official website and Orange County, Florida's official website. Said, come and get some rent grant, and Palm as well. Viewers applied and got it. Others didn't. And now some viewers are coming and say, oh, where do I go get it? You go on the website. In some cases, some viewers say the website have now indicated the application window has closed. This is why you don't wait around, because these things are not around much longer. The volunteers of this channel have been absolutely incredible, and they're doing about 30 to 60 cases every few days. And they consistently say that in a given day, they get 5 to 6 people rent who are just on the brink of homelessness. But some of the questions I get are the following. Can I get rent if I'm homeless? Yes, in some cities and counties, they're giving rent to people for first and last month and security deposit and upwards of 6 to 8 months of rent. So they can pay you for 6-something months of rent. Next. This is the most common question I got 12 days ago. I don't see it that often anymore, thank goodness, but I still want to answer it. Do any of these things for state stimulus apply to people on SSI and SSDI? Absolutely yes. Virtually all of them do. Rent, yes. Utilities, yes. Food, yes. Well, what if I don't pay for rent? What if I don't pay for utilities? Then go get the food stimulus. It's free. Next, I get a lot of questions about mortgage stimulus. That's a harder one. It really is. Some cities and counties have it, some private organizations have it, but mortgage stimulus is harder. Property tax stimulus? No. Almost never, ever see that. I just don't see it. They have not taken care of that issue. Finally, is there any other stimulus that is sort of name your price target, like Priceline with William Shatner? No. Every now and then I have someone that says, I want things to just pay my bills the way I want them paid. That's not the concept of stimulus. Stimulus is expected to tell you how to do it or where to do it unless it's a stimulus check. And what I want you to understand is I want you to get this money, and I want you to get rent and utilities, and I don't want you to give up because you're looking for just a check. Coming up next is Being a Mitch. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay in LA for more.